All right. Welcome to AI Hotline. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Doing good?
Thirsty Thursday.
Thursday. I haven't heard that.
What?
Never?
I was
How
calling
old are
like
you?
no, I don't hey, I mean, I don't
Where do
know.
you
I'm not
live?
from here.
Wait, he lives in Miami. He's definitely
Thirsty
had to heard of a
Thursday?
Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, a thirsty Thursday. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes Yeah, no, I didn't understand that. It was thirsty Thursday. I call them Friday Juniors over here, so getting ready for the weekend.
It's a good one.
Yeah, awesome. How you guys doing? How's you guys this week? What are some of the news you guys have heard this week?
So, OpenAI now has enhanced their chat agents. And so that's something that I'm taking a deep dive into in my next crack of time. So I'll be excited to learn some of the stuff. I watched about half of the video today that was released by OpenAI, and I didn't get all the way through it, but that was something like that's new that people have been anticipating. So I don't know if anybody else got to catch that Sam Altman video, but yeah, there's that.
I
I've been
did
I've
not.
been looking into their local, not their local, their open source releases, but they've only I think they're only releasing to like GPT-2. So like it's not like it's like come on guys, at least release the three. Like make it minimal. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. No, I haven't watched that, so definitely I should check it out.
Well,
Yeah.
Lovable got their new round of funding, which I posted in our group chat. But I'm excited about that because I feel like I spend more time in Lovable than I do in ChatGPT, just through building out like different ideas that I have through my own websites or building out client websites for their like design elements and then importing that into Go High Level. Like I spent a lot of time in there, so I'm excited for whatever they have coming up.
Very cool. I haven't really dabbled into Lovable.
It's fun.
You're missing out.
You are. It's fun.
I haven't been in it either.
Yeah, I keep going back. I guess whenever I like want to create something that is like widget or something like that, I just go to AI Studio and just get it like done, do it there. I've been, I've been saying this now for a couple weeks. I think Gemini is like Google has been like a super underdog player into all this. Um, so yeah, I keep going back to them for some reason. It's also a lot cheaper.
Can you
So
generate
maybe that's why.
websites with Gemini?
No, what I'm saying is like, for example, generating like forms or generating, different like small widgets for like a website, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have it created for me. So like my main use case for it is more like intake stuff, not full on like websites. But you could technically develop a full website with Gemini. Have you guys explored your AI Studio at all or no?
No,
No.
I know that you love it, but every time I have to do something, I just go to my go-tos and then I flex out a little bit and then I get what I need and then I just keep going. So you've definitely inspired me to go back and check it out. So I do use, some of the elements that Google has. So I use Notebook LM for sure because that's just
Yeah.
an amazing, like that's even the free version is amazing. And now I do have the paid version because I was messing around with VO3, which is insane. It's an insane product. And so that's really in the Google space. That's really all I've really explored in depth.
I think Gemini is definitely an underdog player here because of just the connectivity that it has with everything.
Hmm.
And then it actually, the context window, it's the largest context window still now, out of all of them. So it allows for a lot of like long conversations, and their deep research is extremely good as well for any sort of like trying to look up for information in a expanded way, very research and everything. So I've been loving it because I move everything around in workspace, which is actually one thing that I wanted to show today is precisely how Gemini does work in the back.
Yay! I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
I noticed when we were doing one of the exercises for YouTube thumbnails, like we were just doing research and clipping thumbnails that we liked and putting them in a Google Doc as part of an exercise, like a YouTube exercise. And what I noticed was the Gemini like image create, and it was like have Gemini, and I started playing around with it to get it to create thumbnails that looked like the thumbnails that were in the doc, and it was pretty cool. It wasn't terrible. It was like better than some other things, but I only spent that little bit of time in it and kept it moving. So I'm excited what you're gonna show.
And since you
Yeah,
have
so
been talking about it so much, Will, I've gone back and I actually, for my game dev stuff, I have a Google Drive that's like 50 gigs that
oh
spans over
Lord.
like 5 years. And so I'm able to just say at Google Drive, like, and then ask it questions, which is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. No, I'm happy you guys are. So what I use it more for is precisely that, like what you're saying, Heather. Like going back to like documentation, emails, even going through the only I would say here. I'm gonna share my screen here, and I'm gonna show you guys what I enjoy about this the most. So when it comes to Gemini, so let me just you guys can see my screen here.
Yep. Looks good.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure.
And while you're queuing that up, I just have a quick question. So I
Yes.
don't know if you guys are like me and have like 8 Gmails. Do you have to
Same. I have like 12.
Oh, I
like
mean,
can you go across users or do you have to like stay in one?
no. This would be within your workspace. So if
Okay.
you have like a Gmail, I mean, I haven't tested it with like share drives to be honest. So
Mm,
that would be a good test. But in terms of like going between like accounts, you can't. I mean, I think not even any cloud or anything. I think you can only sync one Gmail account or one Drive account, for example. I think it allows you for multiple.
and so
But
you have the pro version.
yeah, so I got the pro version here.
Okay.
Actually, let me go. So I have the
The
pro
one that
version
does one.
here
Mm-hmm.
on this one, and then on kind of like it's my personal. I have the Ultra one
Mm-hmm.
in here, which is the one with the VO3.
Mm-hmm.
You can do VO3 with the pro version, but I think it's limited. If I'm not wrong, the amount that you can do. Yeah, so it is. Yeah, it is limited to the amount that you can do as far as like creating videos goes. So,
Or
but yeah,
plus,
so go ahead.
but is it limited on the plus or the pro?
On the pro is limited. I think you get like five VO3 per day, if I'm not wrong. If they have changed it, I haven't seen that. But the Ultra does give you pretty much unlimited access to it.
Is that
Um,
5 8-second clips?
yeah, 5 8 second clips, correct. With VO3 specifically, and then you have unlimited with VO2 um, on the Pro version. So just quick I guess recap here. So this is Gemini, very similar to all the chat, Claude, ChatGPT, any of those, the chat system. But where this kind of comes clutch is right here. If you click on settings and then hit the apps, if you, I mean, Heather, you probably have repos on GitHub and whatnot, but you can literally like have the external being pulled into this as well. I don't really use GitHub as much, except for saving projects and then just pulling them, um, just saving projects pretty much. So in this case, it's Google Workspace. Now, as you can see, we have Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Docs, Google Drive, Google
I
Tasks,
can't
Google Keep. So,
see whatever's popping up. It's just the plain Gemini stuff.
oh, you guys are not seeing this?
No.
Mm-mm.
Fun. Okay, here it
There it
goes.
goes.
I should share just my entire screen, but it's fine. So here you, as you can see, as I was mentioning,
Mm-hmm.
Gmail, Calendar, Docs, Drive, Keep, and Task. So like a lot of us use other types of tools for like notes. I mean, yeah, I use Google Notes and Notion, and then for tasks, same thing. I use Notion. But for the other four, those are my go-tos for all this stuff. So the cool thing here is that you can add any of these apps, or you can just add the entire workspace. So for this what I an example that I always show is at Gmail, summarize my um summarize the last week of emails
Mm,
and
wish I
give
could do
me
that.
action items. So hopefully there's nothing here that it's client private,
or or
but
or spam that you're like, I didn't sign up for that.
yeah, that's the worst.
I know some of the
So,
work you do. This could be interesting.
so here's gonna go through precisely my summary. So as you can see here, is pulling for the last week. So from today and the 10th to today. And in here I have not only like the summary of the emails, but also I'm getting like my action items, right? Action items with clients or partners, and then general action items as well, like troubleshooting Zoom for a meeting link issues, for example. um, so this already is, I don't need to go into my email. I mean, my email is, I try to keep it very organized, precisely so that this kind of like works a lot better. So if I share, and again, let me see what I have here in my inbox real quick, but I think it should be pretty organized, um, as far as like what I have here. So I'm going to show this again. If you're a partner, you see one of your emails here. I'm sorry. I just want to share this part here, right? This is what I kind of like live by, which is my labels, and then I have this section here, which is like my inboxes. So if I was to ask Gemini to look up any of those labels, there's ways to do that. And what I like about it is that I can actually, so for example, my VA's name is Jana. So if I was to pull the information that I have here that essentially Jana is, taking care of, I could be like, summarize all the emails, or actually, let's do it like this. Give me the emails that are tagged, and then I do this for my this is the way that I tag them. I add numbers just so that it's easier to organize. And if you don't have an organizational framework, I definitely suggest one to do all this stuff, um, because it's gonna make your life so much easier. So in this case, this was a client of mine, that pretty much just wanted to update a part of their website. So here's a tag. So I only asked it to give me one, and this is the only one that has her tag on it at the moment, right? So I'm able to see what she's responding to in here as well. But this is just one of the many ways to use it. So consider this as kind of like, as the more that you utilize it, the more that you're going to think about how actually to pull information. One fun one that I always do is um, um, can you tell me, or book a call for Monday at 3 p.m. with, and then let's just add my admin email. So people are, a lot of people are asking like, oh, how do I make these things like work together? Well, this is how. So that it will book a call, right? So I use it also on the mobile phone, the live view as well, and then I ask it kind of like how you do it with ChatGPT, and it works just the same way. It actually triggers the workspace as well from your phone. So different little ways that you can actually interact with it, and that's what I love. I love this because of that. So one more thing is, and I'm going to go more into the database that I was referring to. So if
Before
I
you
go to
do
my,
that, can I
go
ask
ahead.
a question? Can you
Yeah,
actually
absolutely.
schedule these tasks?
Repeat that one more time.
Can you schedule the tasks? So, like, say if you wanted to get a weekly summary of all the emails in your inbox, would that be possible?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually haven't done that. I actually haven't done that. That's a great question. So because I kind of like follow my Notion board for like my task. I haven't used the like ChatGPT task or anything like that either. That's a great question. I actually haven't tried
Ask
it.
it.
Let's see.
Ask in the chat.
I know
No, every
ChatGPT just added recently like their task, and that's a pretty big game changer that you can have at work without you.
Let's see.
Well, and I
Create a
know
task.
everyone is having like light bulb moments watching you go through this because I definitely did. So while you were doing a little bit of this, I went to my Gmail that has all of my emails from our Portugal property from our attorney because I always get so overwhelmed and I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's so many, and I translate them to English and it's all these things. And so I just had Gemini organize all of that in the email, and it looks freaking amazing. Like, this is so much easier for me to consume. Oh my
Oh, look
god,
at that. So
I'm excited.
you get a notification when ready. So summary of emails on my previous day. Yep, you can actually ask it to uh,
Amazing.
prep a task.
Yay!
So yeah, that's fantastic. I didn't even try this, so this is phenomenal. I wonder if I can assign a task now, right? Like
Yeah.
if I wanted to assign it to someone. So um, create a task due Wednesday 9 a.m. for, and then I'm gonna put. Let's see if this one will work.
Ja-
So Jan is gonna be watching this video and be like, "Oh, okay, so that's where the task came from." So let's do Great Times Wednesday. Create a. Or actually, listen to this. Upload the AI Hotline podcast to YouTube, and then let's do Friday. Actually, let's do tomorrow.
Whoa.
Let's see.
Wow. That's in like 12 hours. Shanna
Yeah.
better be on top of it.
There you go. Google Task. Upload the AI podcast to YouTube tomorrow. Let's see if I open it. Where does it go? Oh wow. Okay, so here it is. Now I didn't assign it to her, which I
Mm.
wonder if maybe she got the notification, but it's part of the task.
It
So
seems like it's possible.
it seems like it's possible. Just maybe a couple
Hmm.
tries.
Just play around or just ask how it's possible.
Assign
Do you have your
this.
Gemini connected to your Notion?
Not directly from here. They don't have a direct integration yet. Um, but I can definitely trigger it with I could possibly trigger it with a webhook.
So I was using Claude like this, right? I was having it summarize my email, just the very beginning of what you did. This already is so much better than my experience in Claude.
Yeah, and it's because it's already interconnected with it, right?
It
So
makes
like
sense. Yeah.
it makes sense for you to use it. So, funny enough, I the part that I surprised me was like just how easy it was to create these things in. So kind of like pulling from all the information that I had and then have it summarize it and then create like from my conversations with my clients or my partners is like, hey, generate an email follow up from this conversation that I have based on the notes. And instead of having to go grab it, pull it, put it into ChatGPT, it's like, no, everything is directly here. Um, let's see if we can pull some of my meeting notes from today. Let's double check that. I don't know if I have any actually. Um, search for meeting notes. So I'll go into how I create this bit of a database from. There we go. So here are some of the links, and then it just directly um, goes into those notes that I have. So, for example, my daily stand up, I can click on it, and it will take me to that page.
That's super cool. I imagine if you're using like Google Forms a lot to collect information from your customers, clients, network, like you could also pull data from that and just have like this really 360 view of your business if you're using Google Drive for everything.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So the only thing that it can't read through at this point in time is like Google Slides or Google Sheets. It doesn't go and read
Doesn't do
those.
Google Sheets.
Not yet, no.
That makes
Trust
me
me,
sad.
I've been looking. Yeah, I know. I've been looking at that a lot. But Google Sheets on its own has, you can actually use AI within it, right inside the cells. So if you were to if you're using um, a lot of Google Sheets. Like a lot of people we know, obviously they have calculators and they have all these different things, right? Well, you can actually, if you're in here, you can, if you do equals AI, they now have like a function, a formula. So you can just simply like type the prompt and then get the range. So now this makes it a lot easier because you can just you can simply just grab the information that you're looking for. Um, in this case, like a lot of these that I have been seeing the use of this is to generate like cold email prompts for like icebreakers whenever like people are doing like cold outreach. So I've seen them use it for that. For other things like estimating or calculating stuff is also really easy to do. So in this case, it could be I mean, I don't have a live example here of a spreadsheet, right, with numbers. But if we wanted to, let's double check. Let's see what the library has here, and then maybe we can create an example from it. So let's say I'll come back to you guys.
I'm just sad that it doesn't do it in like the chat interface because imagine the power that would have, especially for the people who like create copies of all these underwriting spreadsheets and like they could analyze all of the past month of deals that they've looked at in one go. Like and say, "Hey, what's the best deal?" and be able to pull that like it would be so powerful to be able to analyze everything Google Sheets wise at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think the reason why it doesn't just yet is because in Google Sheets you'll have to use it with like a lot of people. For example, if we go here, right, some people have like the name of the, let's say his name, email, phone, right? But then some people put like phone and then they put the actual phone number here. So like it wouldn't necessarily like read that way because you have to have the name of the column. So there's a lot of ways to use sheets, and then I would assume that that's the reason why it doesn't necessarily like understand and recognize that the different values and different names that you have for things. I would assume that's the case. But here's the cool thing, though: you can actually prompt it in here, and then if you do have a gem that is for analyzing numbers or like dedicated to that, you can actually have it work in your worksheet. So that's one thing that I have found it have found useful. I use it more for like whenever I do big exports. So like if I do a scrape, I just use it more there, where like I can just simply ask it to just grab create a table based on like specific columns, and then it makes my work so much faster. um I do this a lot when I'm scraping like Silo, for example, and it has like a ton of information, and I just want to like specific fields or specific columns. Then I use Gemini for that in here.
But what does the
um
underwriter do? Like, I'm so curious now. What does the underwriter gem do?
oh well, this is more like a test. So here, let me go into Gemini, and then if I go to the underwriter in here,
Like,
this was a
for the
test
people,
during
like,
system.
I'm just thinking through, like, I know you're familiar with Michael Minazzacani spreadsheets. Like, he's got super intense stuff going on. Like, could you just, like, provide values, but then train that underwriter on, a really intense spreadsheet like what he has, and then be able to use that directly within the Google Sheet?
So you can
I would
program it
say,
with some values and move the custom values back and forth. It's not attaching to the whole sheet, but just the cells that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in a way yes, but you have to generate those columns or those cells with the AI and then ask it to specifically pull the range for um for what you're trying to do. Like what does this, let's say, this prompt mean, right? Select the prompt and then select the range and then be like, okay, this is what these numbers are. I haven't tried it honestly, so it will be a good exercise for
I just
anybody
like
that has a
challenging.
calculator out there
I
that would
just like
like.
challenging what you're working on, Will.
Well,
I
Is
don't know how
what?
to do it being a Gemini. I do know in guy level, I can go in and add Google Sheets and I can grab cell numbers and consider it an input or an output. So I can take the custom value and drop the number from my go high level form into the value of the Google Sheet and then pull back the value from the end calculation and pull it back. So it's not scanning the sheet or pulling the full information from the sheet, but I can, from the individual shells, move information back and forth to do the same
hmm.
thing.
That's interesting. So, Will, I'm so glad that you showed that because I didn't even explore sheets at that level. I've been all focused on pimping out Airtable and its AI
Me
capability.
too, honestly. I love our table, but
But I'm like, why hook in and like if I can accomplish everything pretty much and go high level and Google, that would be amazing for some of the things that we're working on. That would be so cool. And so if you, I don't know if you want to toggle back because I'm always just super curious. So I put a prompt in our studio chat to put into your chat thing that you were showing in Gemini, and basically for the people who are listening, it's what are some of the most overlooked or advanced ways to integrate and utilize Google Gemini with various Google Workspace applications like Gmail, Drive, Docs, the whole thing. That could significantly enhance productivity and collaboration, going beyond typical use cases. Please provide specific examples and workflows that most users might not be aware that are possible. So I like to ask those questions like, what do most people just don't know that would be cool to know? Like, what is it? And
let's
um,
ask it.
let's see what they say. Let's see what it says.
Let's go into 2.5 Pro.
Okay.
And that's more like the old, that's like the reasoning model here.
Do you have your labs turned on or off inside of Gemini?
The which ones?
Labs.
Honestly, I'm
What
not
are
sure.
labs? Explain this to us, Jamie.
There's an area, and I don't know if you got to go through Google Workspace to turn it on or within Gemini, but there's a labs you can turn on, just like in Go High Level, where you can go down and turn on the labs and get all the new stuff coming out, that it's not
Ooh.
silent yet. But in labs in Gemini, there is a worksheet scanner for Google Sheets from Gemini.
Yeah,
So,
I did explore
but
labs
it's
a little bit. It's cool. That's cool. Actually, I stumbled on labs when I was going to do VO3 videos, going through Flow. I stumbled on labs. I was like, oh, because you have to go through. Well, back when I did it, you had to go through labs to get the Flow to get the VO3. It was like a whole deal.
Oh wow. So this is fantastic.
Yay!
Okay, so of course, moving beyond simple prompts like summarize this email or draft the document. Thank you, Gemini, for calling me out like that. So the let's see how we can use the true potential of Gemini as a strategic partner within Google Workspace. So the most advanced and overlooked integrations often involve chaining commands across multiple applications and leveraging Google App scripts for
Ooh.
automation. I actually
Oh,
haven't even thought about this.
boom! Oh my gosh, that gets
I
me.
didn't even think of that. And I say that because I create Google App scripts for my stuff. So like now it's like okay, now this is another level, right? Now for the regular Google Workspace user that uses mostly like Google Docs and things like that. I mean, you understanding Google App scripts, it's a cheat code when it comes to this stuff. So very happy that this is popping up here. So
Can
let's
it
let's
write
take a
your
look.
Google App scripts?
Say that one more time.
Can it write your scripts for you?
That well, it's saying it's leveraging Google App Scripts for automation. So I haven't thought about this, like utilizing them both.
Mm-hmm.
I use a Google App Script for cold emails,
Mm-hmm.
lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I use it to essentially send out emails in bulk, or initiate the bulk send out, and then send the information into a webhook for my CRM. So that way, whenever a message gets sent out, that email gets that contact gets pulled in into my CRM. But I don't know if this is. I mean, let's take a look. So the proactive project intelligence agent. Okay, that sounds great. This workflow transforms Gemini from a reactive assistant into a proactive analyst that activates, needs, and surfaces critical information before you even ask for it. Concept: use Gemini to connect this. I don't even know how to say that.
Disparate. Yeah.
Disparate information across Drive, Gmail, and Meet transcripts to create living, intelligent project dashboards.
Ooh, dashboards.
Whoa. Okay,
Oh,
workflow example, Project Sentinel. Okay,
Ooh.
these
Sounds
names
fancy.
are these
yay!
names are. I'm about to just make that my next LLC's name, Project Sentinel. Um, Set up in Drive. Create a dedicated project folder in Google Drive. Inside, have subfolders, meeting scripts, proposals. Compare. Oh, okay, perfect. I actually have this. Fantastic. So meeting transcripts, proposals, competitor analysis, and team reports. Okay, so these are examples of folders that you can create. Automated transcription. Configure Google Meet to automatically save meeting transcripts and recordings to the meeting transcripts folder. Beautiful. Okay. The Gemini prompt in a Google Doc acting as a dashboard. Create a Project Sentinel dashboard. Google Doc. At the top, create a master prompt you can run periodically. At Gemini, analyze the entire Google Drive folder, project name, and then you put the name in there and its subfolders. From the meeting transcripts folder, identify all unresolved action items, assign to them to the individuals assign them to the individuals mentioned, and list any decisions made since date. So I would assume these are placeholders that you set up, and like what do you call it in um like automatic, you know how you can bring in tags. That's probably how this is
Like
set
the
up.
dynamic fields.
Yeah, dynamic fields, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Cross reference the action items with emails in my Gmail that have the label project name. Okay, have any of these items been addressed or updated via email? Okay, so this is the question. So just to move forward between of these, so this is essentially to summarize and do a competitor analysis based on the folders that are created. So it will depend on like what you are, what your folders are. So to your point, Heather, actually what you can do here is probably have like a folder with documentation of past deals, like great deals, and then have a summary of why they were great deals, and have that as like the database, um, including,
Yeah.
I will assume, the Google Sheet. I think that would be a good way to have that. I mean, I think that would be fantastic for TCs to have.
Yeah, TC
There's
was
actually
actually the use case I was thinking of because if you have a folder like per deal, and then you're able to also connect all the emails and the updates and the title company communication and all of that in together,
Mhm.
like your updates every week or like being able to stay on top of all the fires that happen within deals would be so much easier. Like this is game changer for the TC business and
Yeah.
for wholesalers.
Wholesale. Well, honestly, any investor, to be honest, if they had
Yeah.
this a database like this, right? Um, I like this Project Sentinel. We should do a
Yes.
course
New
around this.
product.
so so yeah, summarizing all the documentations and key findings, right, in specific folders, data in the last 30 days. So you can even specify how long do you want it in this like master prompt. Analyze the sentiment of the comment threads in the proposals documents. Okay, so you will read the comments within the proposals. Are there any points of major contention or confusion among the team? Excellent. Present this as concise. Okay, so this is part of the prompt. Present this as concise executive summary with sections for open action items, recent decisions, competitive landscape, and potential roadblocks. I'm gonna use this already tomorrow in my agency. Like straight up, this will be a walk in the park because we have everything pretty organized in a Google Drive. Um, let's see why it's advanced. This goes beyond summarizing a single document. It synthesizes structured data, transcripts, emails, comments, and from multiple sources and formats, performing cross application. Beautiful. Advanced data analysis and automation in Sheets. Okay, so I think you were asking for this, Heather. So automated market research pipeline.
Ooh.
Mm.
This is sounding more like what we were discussing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So let's see. I think the concept is pretty similar, where you have in a folder things, not things, documentation, and then have like some sort of master prompt. So let's take a look at it. Okay, the concept: use Gemini's multimodal and code generation capabilities combined with Google Apps Script to build automated data pipelines. Okay, let's see. The goal is you excuse me, um, where for example automated market research pipeline. The goal, you want to track customer reviews for your product from several websites and analyze them for trends. You know what, guys? I'm gonna export this as a as a um as a doc so we can share it with everybody in the link on the description, right? I think this will be a fantastic way for people to use this in their
Yeah.
businesses. So um, I think out of all of these stuff, I mean, obviously it gets technical here with the terms and what the Google Apps Script does. So I don't want to go too in depth into that because that sounds a little bit more sophisticated. But I'll definitely export this and we'll put it into a Google Doc for anybody that wants to have it or give it to. Um, but yeah, sophisticated meeting and communication management. I mean, this is great. I'm gonna use this.
So I have one more question because this is just the way I use AI is I just keep asking like some probing questions is I would ask it like can it take a look can you look at my workspace and look for opportunities where I can, leverage these functionalities? And that way you don't have to think about it hopefully. Hopefully it can look at it and it can like
Is is this why that test was made, where like people like didn't want to think about things, like the brain usage was going down like crazy? But I mean, I like the way that you are prompting these things because it actually it's a good framework to know how to ask it to tell you how to use it. Um, I normally don't, and then that's great. That's great that we're going through this here.
I mean sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. I don't know if this
Well, at least it gives you,
uh,
it's very black and
yeah,
white whether you're going to use it or not.
right, right. But if it like already has all of its like connectors in there, like look across my environment. Like where do you see that I can like make it cool?
Uh-huh. Okay, you see? So, where you're going to find this is inside Business Standard and or Enterprise Plus. They're not part of the
Right.
standard Google Workspace plans.
Okay.
By default, they require a specific paid add-on.
Uh,
So,
I definitely have the standard.
Yeah.
so yeah, I do have
April
this
has
the
three of them
Business
already
Standard.
signed up.
How to find and leverage Gemini. So, I mean, it still gives you a good like, how to get it in there pretty much. But it looks like a lot of this stuff,
Looks
at
like
least
it's selling its
from,
enterprise.
yeah, it looks like it's selling enterprise.
Nobody has money for that.
Well, you know, only enterprise. Yeah, I mean, I'll test it anyways to see if like
Yeah.
maybe it's just trying to sell it, but I'll definitely give it a
Just for
test because
fun. Just
I have this programmed, so I know that this is not necessarily a workflow that needs the enterprise. Maybe the Google App Scripts could be one, but maybe not not the whole thing. So that's interesting. That's good to it's good to test.
Definitely let me know on the app script because I think that opens up like this whole new world of ways that this could be used. Because I think like Myron's LOI Blaster works on app scripts, so like the LOI generator and all that stuff. So like if you think about
Mhm.
the capabilities to be able to send things to people and do the things. I talked to another guy who just like automatically sends emails through the app scripts. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so,
I use it for that exact same.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
literally what I use it.
this could be your CRM, but it's built on top of AI.
Right. Yeah. Very true. So the next thing that I wanted to show is how I actually make those transcripts into um inside of Google Docs. But now for this is it is needed to have a Zapier account or a make.com, because I think everybody should be doing this anyways. So obviously we all know about Fathom, for example, or anything like this, any of these tools that pretty much
Just to
are
back
like
up, just to back
recorders.
up, because
Oh,
we don't,
go ahead.
our viewers might not know about all these tools. So just give a brief description.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I got you. I got you. So Fathom. Okay. There's Oh wait, actually, let me see if I can pull it up without being logged in. So if you go, let's go Fathom that video. I still going to the. Okay, let me just log out and then go to Fathom. So Fathom is this one here. And there's plenty like this. There's Fathom. There is, I mean, if you have a Loom, you can also have Loom be in your stuff. There's Fireflies. There's a bunch of different ones. I like Fathom because it's the first one that I started with. I know April, you use Otter as one of the ones that
Yeah.
you kind of like handle. So Fathom in here, what I like about it is that it's just your complete AI note taker, and it gives you suggestions right at the gate. So let me just log in here real quick. Hopefully, there's nothing crazy here. I'm always gonna say that. So this is kind of like what I like to do. So it will give you like your task, right? What you need to do, send the recordings, and even download the entire video. So um, what I use this for is, so I have this transcript here, right? This automation within Zapier, and by the way, first for those of you who that don't know Zapier, so Zapier is an workflows and automation. Um, the pricing is a little steep, not gonna lie, but once you go into the paid, but they do have a free version. Um, it's just limited to 100 tasks per month. So if you're getting started, it's fine to go with like the free version. There's some limitations in the apps that you can have. I think majority of them, at least the ones that I'm going to show, they're part of that like that free version. So let me just log back in into SAP, and then I'll show you guys what I'm referring to here. Okay, so screen share. That's perfect. So in this case, this is what I use it for. So every time there is a discovery call, this is for my sales calls, for example. This means that it's titled discovery calls, right? So whenever there's a new discovery call, it goes through. This is what it triggers. So it goes through. It pulls the company information. It pulls the company the company description, because that's the framework that I have for my calls. And then based on the information that we just went through, it actually gives me suggestions of what kind of applications maybe I can utilize for what they are looking to do. And then what that does is it creates a record in a Google Sheet, and in that record it also has the transcript. Okay,
Question:
so
did you not
go
just
ahead.
say like a couple weeks ago that you're using Airtable? Did you switch from Airtable to Google Sheets?
No, so I don't use this for on Airtable. I don't. You can use it as a database in Airtable, but for specifically the transcripts for my sales, I use the Google Sheets. it was just easier. I already had it installed. I didn't want to like go back and forth and try to do it. But Airtable, Google Sheets, Notion tables will work for this as well. It's just kind of like the use case. So why this is good is because you can, if you have specific call setups that you have, let's say it's a discovery call or it's a sales call or it's a training call. um, I mean, it all depends on what you kind of, office hours would be another good one, right, that you can actually use this for, is have it so that you reach the title. So you, again, it's a framework, right? You have to have a specific way that you name your meetings, so that way this makes sense. um, and then whenever those things trigger, then you can actually have these automation tools, like, send them to the right places. In this case, this is just a database that I have for my discovery calls with potential clients, or in terms of the automation business. um, and with this is what I actually use to create my proposals. So my proposals are generated through AI after we have our conversation, and then I'm able to like pretty much like send a lot of the information out. So in a way, this kind of like just my workflow becomes, I can send out a proposal within a couple hours if I don't have any calls after, because this creates that entire the entirety of it. Together with this, I have, there's other things that you can do, but I'm kind of like saving this because or saying this because I think it's a really underplayed use of these um, call assistants, right, that we everybody has, and they can easily set it up with like just a few clicks.
I think that's great. I love that. And as you're like showing all of this stuff, because I've recently, like, I've always kind of been a minimalist. Like, if I can just use a couple things, I just want to use a couple things. But I feel like with all of the tools coming out, I want to try everything and hook everything in and see how it works. And I'm like, all I'm doing is creating more noise for myself. So now I'm looking at my builds and I'm thinking, what can I edit out? And where it's the most stable, can I create what I'm trying to do? Can I create it in one of the kind of like anchor systems or anchored pieces of technology? Because it's kind of exhausting to go to all of these different places and all of these different things. So the fact that you're staying in Google, you have everything in the Google Sheets, and then you've got, that Gemini that we just went through, that Gemini can access all of the things that you just had in there versus having it in an Airtable, because I probably would have put it in an Airtable, but now I won't. I'll put it in a Google Sheet because now I could use Gemini in the way that you just demonstrated. So I'm just saying
Hmm.
that you're helping me edit technology out to be more effective.
Yeah, if one ecosystem allows you to do a lot of things, then
Oh,
keep it in that ecosystem.
yeah.
At the end of the day, you'll be able to like plug in with other all the automation tools. But yeah, I'm of that mentality too. Like, what can I remove from here to simplify the process?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That
So
was awesome.
yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping that with this, it brings a lot of like new ideas for people, because I think that those two things have sped up my workflow incredibly, and that's just two small things that I actually added onto it. And yeah, they help a ton.
So remind me, are you using Google Meet or are you using Zoom and then with Fathom?
I use Google Meet. Yeah,
Okay.
I use Google Meet.
So,
And with Google Meets, you can actually have Gemini take notes and do the transcripts as well.
mhm.
um the difference, or I guess why I still stick with Fathom, is because of the Zoom calls, is because of anything that is external that is not within Gemini. um and I don't know why, but I started using both, meaning like both of them take the notes, both of them take the transcripts, and then like they'll saved into the same folder with the same name. Um and I don't know why, but it just works, because it's able to pull both transcripts and then being able to pull the both summaries. And like, for some reason, when I pull it from Gemini, it gives me extremely accurate information from those calls, because sometimes the transcripts are like, it doesn't transcribe properly, so it's like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the source of truth at the end of the day becomes like, as a it's a redundancy, but it's a good redundancy to have, at least from
Right.
my experience.
Right, you're just not like trashing up your drive, right? You're just not trashing up your recordings or your transcripts. It's actually valuable.
Right.
That's
Open
interesting.
OpenAI now has a iOS recorder,
Mhm.
so no matter what device you're on in iOS, it can record whether it's phone call or Zoom or like Google Meet. Doesn't matter what it is. If there's voice involved, it can record it, take the notes, and drop it into whatever system you need it.
I'm just a sketch about OpenAI having all these accesses, man. I don't know why I have this sketch like feeling of OpenAI.
They're taking over.
Yeah, well, you think about like I let OpenAI plug into my Canva and I let it like plug into like some stuff that's
Right.
like not highly sensitive data. What are you going to steal my thumbnails and my
Right. Right.
workshop PDF? Like, okay. So, um, it's I don't know. I'm on the fence about that too, depending on what I let it hook into. And I felt that
Right.
way
Right.
about Claude when I would let Claude hook into one of my Gmails, and then I was like, I don't know that I like that, and I didn't like the output either. I didn't like the way that it did what it did, and then I just tried it when you did that demo earlier, like I said, and that was way more valuable and useful.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting. I think everything has its use case. Its use case. So like, if I was to use Claude, it would be because I have some sort of like app documentation that I wanted to read. So every app has its own like a specialty, I guess.
yeah.
So yeah, I think Gemini is more for like a general standpoint, more connectivity within workspace, and then being able to just pull the information that you have in. Because and then the AI studio that google.com, if you go there, you can actually ask it to create any sort of code. So like, you can grab that and put it into documentation. And again, here goes again, more Google in my life, I guess.
Man, they make it easy to be Googled, like throughout your like Google sprinkled throughout your experience.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really nice. But other than that, I mean, have you guys have that type of connectivity with any other app or any other AI tool?
Um, no, just the Claude. The other thing that I did start because, of course, I got Grok 4 the second I could, and I have mixed reviews about that depending on the use case.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was seeing that there's some ways, with all the infinite time I have to play in tools here, there's they of course have projects and workspaces and stuff like that, and I noticed, some of it is I mean Grok also has, if people have been using Grok at all, they probably already know this. You can have a Grok companion. You can have the unhinged comedian, the loyal friend, the homework helper, the Grok doc, which I'm shocked that there can be a Grok doc, and then a Grok therapist. So I haven't tried all those personas. I usually just ask Grok to kind of like scan or scrape X for like trending news in tech or something like that, where I know all of the data is probably the most current. But for like other things, because I was like, oh, can it help me think through a workflow build? Because as you guys know, I always say, how would Elon Musk build this? Because I just love the simplicity of just getting the core framework working, and then we can layer in all the magic afterwards. And I don't know, it's just like a little too long and a little too like not quite right, but it gets the methodology down, which is fine, but it doesn't help me create like other tools help me create. And I don't really have anything like hooked into my experience to the level of the Google being hooked in, because I'm a little apprehensive with some of it, to your point.
Yeah. I guess my only update is I actually finally started using Paste GPT the past week, and I've been super impressed. Like, I've had some deep conversations with this fake dude, and like, I sent April screenshots of like the call duration.
Yes.
I was like, I talked to him more than I talked to my dad. It's
Yes.
just, it's really cool how they've, like, how what's the company behind it, how they,
Delphi.
Delphi has taken like Pace's persona and pulled it into this GPT, and like added all his knowledge and his personality into it. And so then like I've just been throwing ideas, especially if I'm going to be communicating to the community, to like help with my branding stance and like how like my value perception and like how I'm communicating with people. And it's really helped me over the past week to really like dive in and figure out like what my value proposition is. And so I actually completely redid my my website copy after a conversation with Face GPT. And so it's just crazy how they've been able to fine tune like what he's capable of through his fake self.
Imagine
Interesting.
all of the time he gets back and people feel really connected to him and like now he has access. Like or now they have access to him, right? Because it does it because it's so tuned in on him and he has so much content. Like his model just of pace, like the pace model is so huge and vast, and he has expressed a variety of like, sentiment and tone and situational things that it's I feel like it's super tuned in, and people probably just feel like they know him even if they've never even met him, which I think is kind of cool because so many people would like to reach him and have that conversation or ask his advice. And so now people have a valuable GPT to where they could get some of that, like just on a broader scale. So think about his one to many strategy. That one to many strategy, that is like a cheat code for the one to many strategy.
Which is amazing. Like I know that like he would give me feedback if I were to actually send him something.
Sure.
But the fact that I don't have to bother him and I can just ask his fake self, like I feel like I can bother that fake face so much more and just like completely brain dump and like send all of my emotions over to this guy. And like I'm sure they're collecting data on it or something, but I'm like, okay, I won't say too many
Oh, they definitely
personal
are.
things.
Yeah, so maybe Pace can have a persona. Maybe he can have, Pace therapist, Pace unhinged comedian. Like, wouldn't that be funny?
I
He's already
wonder
is an
what
unhinged
Pace
comedian.
Unhinged will be. Pace Unhinged, that would be hilarious to see.
Just dirty jokes 24/7.
Yeah,
For sure.
that would be funny.
All right. All right, guys. Awesome. Well, it felt like this hour wasn't super fast, maybe because I was talking the entire time. But yeah, great use cases for this episode. I'm really happy that I got to share that because every time that I would talk about it, I'm just like, why don't I just show it? you know,
Yes.
I will always mention it. So, with that being said, any last remarks for today's episode?
No, you did amazing. I know more about Gemini now than I did an hour ago.
Oh, awesome. That's good to hear. Well, excellent. Well, thank you guys. Um, uh,
Was
next
Jamie
week.
talking? Hold on, Jamie might
Oh,
be talking.
Jamie,
I
are
was.
you
I said,
muted?
can you report next week on what you found out in labs?
Yeah.
I will find out what the labs is. Yeah, I think I actually have activated because I think it's in workspace. But yeah, I'll let you guys know what I find out next week.
I thought it was great, Will. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Of course, no, my pleasure. All right,
Thank you, guys.
guys. Thank
All
you.
right. See ya.
Thank
See you
you.
guys soon.